And so they gave it to me, and I get it, and I start to feel it, and so they lay me down, and shit got real dark real fast.
Okay.
It was not the same. Before, everything was super oversaturated and just beautiful, and I could smell the flowers and see myself as a child, and life was great. Now it started showing me going forward.
Oh.
And it was bringing this kind of this realization that I'm a man in his late 30s, and that playtime's over. Okay, those good times were childhood times, and that you need to get down to business. And how it sort of did that is like I said, there was no saturation. It was all black and white. And it was a feeling, this pit in my stomach. I mean, aside from throwing up and sweating, it gave me this feeling of just not right. And it started to progressively show my life moving forward. And I looked very unhappy, and I looked very lonely. And it showed me with a bunch of different girlfriends, and it showed me just sort of bouncing around, never really settling down. And then it got real dark. And it showed my mom pass away, and we're at her funeral. And it showed my dad pass away, and we're at his funeral. And it showed my brother pass away. And I was just sitting there just bawling. I'm sitting there on this mattress in Costa Rica in the rainforest just bawling. And the last thing it showed me was me. And I had a POV perspective of looking up, and it showed my sister, my younger sister, and her husband. And they were old. Obviously, she's just a few years younger than me, but she was old like me, so I'm in like my late 70s. And it showed her kids, and I was on my deathbed, and I was all by myself. I didn't have anybody. I had my sister and Jeremy and their kids, but it's just me. And I got this realization, I need to start a family.
Yeah.
I'm almost 40 years old. Playtime's over. And in reality, it showed me an image of her having sexual relations with another man. And I got the answer that she had already found a new guy. And so I was screaming that in the middle of my journey. The shaman had to calm me down.
You like found out about it in the experience.
Yeah, it showed her and it showed this guy, and it was real. The Iboga will show you shit that is real, and you can't explain it. It's a different dimension.
Wow.
It will show you stuff that you want to know.
Go to different points in time that have either happened or not happened, and
yeah, it shows you everything. It's just that you can't explain this stuff because there's no way to explain it. It was delivered us by a higher power. There's no doubt about it.
Wow.
So I'm screaming there, on this mattress, and the shaman had to come over and comfort me. And I said, "She's with another guy," and he said, "Iboga's the truth."
This other aspect of getting this timeline into the future where he's at his deathbed and he's all alone. I mean, that's incredibly profound. I mean, this is just one of those things, again, that when we're talking about the psychedelic experience, like in its value and its role, it's just how difficult of a challenge is it to appreciate something like the totality of your life lived without having a family. I mean, if I just ask you that question in a conversation, I ask you, like, can you comprehend how you'll feel if you go your whole life and you don't start a family? And so that's the thing that I find important here, just in thinking about the role of psychedelics more generally, is it is just in fact the case, whether it's being able to recall these past memories or being able to appreciate the implications of how we might live our lives, it's just the case that we can't do these things in our ordinary state of consciousness. It just is the case that non-ordinary states of consciousness are the only modes of awareness that afford us the ability to really feel the gravity of our life in a totally new way.
Yeah, and that's why we talk so much on this podcast about this idea of cognitive liberty, about the need for people to be able to freely go to different states of consciousness, whether it be through, non-drug induced activities like meditation or whatever, or anything induced like by eating a plant or a drug or anything like that. Like, we just plain need to access all these different parts of our brain. Like the science has literally shown more parts of your brain are active on psychedelics than when you're in a sober state. And in fact, the most sober states, when you're just kind of like sitting around not doing anything, your brain is actually very much limited. The constraints are putting filters and reducing valves on huge chunks of your brain that would normally be able to maybe do crazy superpower shit like this, like being able to recall memories of in the past and like go into the future and like this apparently is all already built in to our hardware. Like, we already have this stuff, and it's just like a little drug. It sort of like turns a key and then allows us to access these abilities.
You make a good point there, Chris, because when we take any of these drugs, all they do is make a slight modification of one of the systems that we have in our body, in this case, in our brains. Like, for example, many of the psychedelics act on the 5-HT2A receptor, and so it's just changing how that receptor works. It's not the drug bringing in a DVR experience into your mind. Yeah. It's basically just unlocking a capability that your mind has within it.
So that was the beginning of a new road for me. And old Brock was gone, and new Brock had arrived. And it wasn't just this game plan and this goal that I had in mind now. I didn't feel addiction. It was gone.
Wow. How did you know, or what was kind of your first experience of understanding that?
The
pull wasn't there.
That pull, that white knuckle that you wake up with every fucking morning. Yeah. Where you're like, I can't get beaten by it. Mm-hmm. I won't let it beat me. It's just white fucking knuckle and fucking bullshit.
Just
was
the
gone.
First thing you think about when you wake up.
When you wake up, when you're off of opiates and you're off of alcohol, the first fucking thing you think about is you get up and you go, today's another day to fight.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It gets real old.
So did you feel like you had a different purpose in your life as far as,
I felt free.
Family? Okay.
I felt free from addiction, and when you're fighting addiction, that consumes your whole life, and everything else is sort of just on the side that you're hoping you can achieve. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't matter if you're going to whatever job you're going to. When you're at that job, you're going, okay, I'm at this job, but I can't drink tonight. I'm not going to use tonight. And it really takes a lot out of you. And now when that slate has been just cleaned, you're like, holy shit, this is what I have to work with? I'm like a healthy, functioning human? Holy shit. It just, it's so much clearer. And I was like, wow, well, I better get to work. I got to exercise because I'm a little out of shape right now. And I need to move forward, healthy, happy. And once I'm happy now, and I know I need to get healthy, diet and workout routine, and eventually the right one will come. And there was a little part of me that hadn't given up on the X still. That's natural. I'm like, this Iboga did show me this. It was absolutely incredible. But you know what? Maybe she's not really with another guy. Come to find out, fast forward, she was with another guy. She had been with another guy. And everything Iboga told me, all of it was real. Everything it shown me, it's incredible.
The fact that Iboga showed him in real time, basically, that this girl who he is seeing was seeing somebody else. I mean, that's incredible.
Yeah, that's again, superhero stuff, right?
Magic.
Yeah, but that's just like some guy didn't even think that was possible. All of a sudden, boom, he's a believer.
Yeah, I mean, the phenomenon itself is incredible, and then it's just incredible to see somebody who was so skeptical before now totally on the other side. And it really is a testament to what he actually encountered, because this is not a guy who's just gonna believe any spiritual thing you threw in front of him.
I love that about this interview, because you know, there's endless amounts of big believers out there taking psychedelics who just, you know, jump in the deep end immediately. But, you know, not a lot of people who have both like kind of the more status quo sort of perception of the world, but also have fully like dived into the other realms of the universe. Like that's super rare. So
Absolutely.
yeah, we really appreciate Brock coming in and just laying it all out, because this perspective is so valuable. I think also just because more people, the average person is gonna be able to relate to a guy who didn't believe in any of this shit before, but fully saw the other side of the rainbow.
Absolutely, and that these substances, these aspects of nature are incredibly powerful tools for helping us heal ourselves. I mean, again, we just have to remember that this is a guy who struggled with addiction for the greater part of his life, who is in a terrible situation, who is considering ending his life, and then is brought into a situation where he has a total new lease on life. Like he said there toward the end, he's now this healthy guy. Sure, he's got to get his diet and exercise going, but he's no longer shackled to the desire to find alcohol, to find any drug, to find something to help him get through that difficult, a tough pain that so many addicts feel, which is, I want to fill this void and I don't know how.